This isn't the all-powerful mega lizard monster named Godzilla. This is Super Godzilla, which... Well, this is embarrassing. Actually, here's the real Super Godzilla. This isn't the all-powerful mega lizard monster named Godzilla. This is Super Godzilla, which means the edge of your seat, mind-blowing excitement of a blue dot moving slowly across a map. Up top, you've got Godzilla walking slowly through the city or countryside. Down below, you've got this blue dot crawling along that represents him as you track down your enemy. So basically, this game is half walking simulator, half Pac-Man. Hey look, I do gotta say, we've got some really nice hand-drawn art in this game, but you're telling me we couldn't even get a little Godzilla emoji down there on the map? Nope, that would have just pushed the Super Nintendo past its limit apparently. So here's how it works. You'll control Godzilla for 6 stages and you'll get 3 continues. Your goal is to move that blue dot towards the menacing pink dot, which represents a kaiju bent on destruction. And you know, now that I think about it, there is a gender reveal idea somewhere in here. Blue dot meets the pink dot, you stream it live. If Godzilla wins, it's a boy. If the boss wins, it's a girl. Hey, I think it could work. But anyways, aliens have taken control of these kaiju and using them for destruction of Earth. So this government group, or I think they're a government group, has come together to call and use these radio waves to control Godzilla to defeat the kaiju and save Earth. Though the military is also shooting at you, but just don't think too hard about that. And you'll play as the controlled Godzilla. And naturally, when you think of play as Godzilla, you think smashing buildings, going wild, pure chaos. But no, in this game, smashing buildings actually reduces your energy. And to make matters worse, some of the obstacles pop up last second, so unless you're paying really close attention to this already painful slow map movement, you're going to run into them. Now the Godzilla animation, honestly, it looks awesome. Especially when he collides with a building or some earth and you get that slow, satisfying destruction shot. But here's the thing, it's slow, repetitive, and gets old a lot quicker than you'd expect. The first couple stages, you'll have a number on the bottom right of your map that says enemy, and that's basically how far you are from the boss. Smaller number means you're closer. As the number gets bigger, that means you're going in the wrong direction. It's basically the old hot and cold game, except instead of somebody yelling warmer, I like to imagine the kaiju just hiding somewhere, whispering it to himself. Warmer, colder, because that's basically how this works. And that's how you track your target until the game decides otherwise, because case in point, after the second stage, they kidnap a doctor, and you have to find him before the enemy counter will even work again. And he's hidden in one of these orange map squares, but you don't know which. And it's not even consistent. I watched a YouTube playthrough where it was in a totally different square than mine, so I'm pretty sure it's randomized, which means, yes, you're gonna wander around until you find him. Which, you know, I guess it does make sense. If somebody's actually lost, that you would have to wander around to find them, but still, it's slow and it's just terribly inconvenient. Now, here is my favorite defense of this game I've heard someone say. Yeah, I know the walking is repetitive, but in later levels, you can put down the controller and Godzilla will keep walking for you. Listen, if not playing the game is a selling point, that should tell you something. Anyway, when you finally get close to your target, you'll hear this audio warning and then bam, you're in battle. Then the game suddenly switches to what looks like a Street Fighter style one-on-one fight, except for it reminds me more of the Megazord battles from the Power Rangers Super Nintendo game, but trust me, it is different. The split screen stays, but now the bottom half is your fighting guide. First thing the game tells you, these moving bars down here are the fight spirit, and when it's high, your opponent is really dangerous, and when it's low, that's when you should attack. That's the foundation of the whole fighting mechanic. Sounds simple, except when the fight spirit doesn't go from high to low to high to low, it develops a weird drawn out pattern that you have to figure out for each boss, and before you know it, you're gonna get caught slipping. To attack, you block their move, walk up, land Godzilla's famous right hook, you know, his signature move from all the movies, and then back up to charge your special attack. The bottom box cycles through random specials, and when you see the one you want, you select it, triggering a fully animated fight sequence. Now, I will give credit here. These animations are gorgeous. Every kaiju has 2 unique attack animations, and each of your specials has its own cinematic. And that is a lot of work for a SNES game. But here's the flip side, you're going to see the enemies' cutscenes over and over and over. Because unlike you, they get to attack when they want. Now for you, it's all about timing, blocking, and getting in and out. For the enemy, they can just decide, yeah, I'm gonna do my cutscene attack now, and then hit you for 100 damage when your specials do about 30 to 50. Totally balanced. Some enemies even have counter-specific specials, like Mechagodzilla, who reflects beam attacks back at you for more damage than they would originally do, which makes zero sense whatsoever, because think about it, when has a ricochet bullet been more powerful than when it first left the gun barrel? So I don't get that, but you block with down on the D-pad, and you cycle through power-ups you found on the map by using R and then L to use one, like an energy refill, a fight spirit boost, or a defense boost. Now, would it have killed them to give us icons that actually look different? I always forget which one is which and end up boosting my defense when I need energy. We have 30 different cinematic fight scenes, but distinct item icons? That is crossing the line. Now, you can escape a fight, but let's be honest, avoiding the problem doesn't make it go away. Might as well just thug it out. Once you finally take down the boss, you get a stage end screen and more story. Usually through a text dump on a static TV screen with different leaders giving updates, and honestly I really liked it. It kind of felt like that all hands on deck, the world is in major peril moment you see in old monster movies. Oh, and there's no difficulty settings, which means it's set to that difficulty. How come the difficulty I would pick is never the one the devs seem to pick? Which means, yeah, it's a little challenging. But let me talk again about the sheer number of fight cutscenes in this game. They could probably be strung together into an entire Godzilla movie. Add some Japanese dubbing, a little film grain, and you could probably gaslight people into believing that it is a lost 1960s classic. What about the soundtrack? Surprisingly good. It nails that looming giant monster vibe. It even makes the stakes feel really high. I just wish there was more variety, because when you're staring at that blue dot crawling across the screen for a few minutes at a time, you're wanting a little bit extra. The sound design's also on point. The buildings and the trees and the earth itself, everything that Godzilla destroys actually sounds like destruction. Oh, and another part of this game, remember how in Super Nintendo RPGs you get these little random battles every few steps? Well, you don't need an RPG for that. Super Godzilla's got you covered. Starting after stage 1, you'll constantly get interrupted by these UFO fights. They're easy, but they are repetitive, and the only way to stop them is to find and destroy the mothership in a longer fight. And you might ask me, so we're told exactly where that mothership is, right? Right? Yeah, you would think. Now here's the twist, once you get the hang of the kaiju battles, they're actually pretty fun. I caught myself saying, no, or so close, and things like that while I was by myself playing, and that means I'm invested. A lot of times I'll play a game by myself and I just have this blank stare with my eyes glazed, and that means I want nothing a part of it. But looking back, knowing that's how I reacted, man, I was really invested. It's that right amount of frustration and satisfaction to keep me going, but not so much that I rage quit. Just don't die as often as I did. If you've run out of continues, you're going to start from scratch, retracing every slow blue dot step you take. And it is soul crushing. And that's the problem. The game has moments where you want to come back and beat the boss you almost had, but the slow retracing kills the replay value. Now let me talk about this game overall. I love how the game looks and how it sounds. The cinematic fight scenes, the Godzilla roar, they nailed the roar, and the atmosphere. And if they sped up the combat, cut out the UFO interruptions, and fix the map crawling, we would really have something amazing here, because the devs went for something different that I haven't really seen in another Super Nintendo game. And there is so much of the same on this console, like we have 1,000 action platformers. So for something to be this unique, where it has this mini map and this walking animation and all these cutscenes and a fighting style that has strategy like this, and if you're just looking for something different, then this might be something to check out. As it stands, I would call this a solid weekend rental back in the day, and if you're a Godzilla fan, the nostalgia alone might be worth it. So, would a mediocre gamer like Super Godzilla? The answer is yes, but only once. So if you like that video, I made a playlist of all of my Super Nintendo reviews, so you can watch them one at a time. All you gotta do is click here.